Representative Brian Lampton. Welcome to Message from the House. This is your first time being on the podcast, sir. Welcome.
Yep, thank you. Glad to be here.
I want to ask a little bit about your background, your district, how you got into the role that you're in now.
Okay, well, born and raised in Kettering, Ohio, which is right next door to the district. Graduated from the University of Dayton, and my first job was awful. Out of school, it was in the finance field, but when you start off, we started off collecting delinquent car loans.
Oh, wow.
Yes, so I do have a couple of good repo stories, but other than that, it was not fun. So I was interviewing at the University of Dayton's alumni placement office, and I interviewed with an insurance company, and I got hired, and I started my business at the ripe old age of 25 years old. So here it is 35 years later, and I'm still chugging along.
Oh, that's amazing. What type of insurance?
Mostly home and auto and stuff like that, yeah.
Yeah, that is incredible. And then how did that translate to coming to be a state rep?
So we moved to Beaver Creek, and another insurance agent friend of mine, we joined the Rotary Club. He got me into that, and he's very politically active. He introduced me to all the council folks and county commissioners and state reps and all of this stuff. We get to and I started getting involved with it. When you're working on commission and you got to pay all the taxes, you kind of wonder, well, where's all this money going? And so you get real interested in all that stuff, and then starting to meet all of the local politicians, started to get involved in campaigns and stuff like that. Several years went by, and this past time was, again, an open seat. Rick Perales, my immediate predecessor, his term was up. And the county commissioner said, hey, you ought to run. And I said, I don't know. And I said to myself, only if there's no other primary opponent. And there wasn't. It was really weird. Somebody would say, well, so-and-so might run. So I'd call them. I knew all the folks around. And the best one was I called this guy. He was a former mayor. I said, hey, I hear you might run for state rep. He goes, nah, my wife won't let me. That was perfect. I said, if she's not going to let you, that's a good reason not to run.
100%. And
so everybody I'd call, no, I'm not going to. Are you going to? I said, well, I'm thinking about it.
Yeah.
And no one else wanted it. It was quite weird. It was really up until sort of the last few months. I finally got an opponent. This guy just decided to run himself. I think he was trying to find somebody. Nobody was going to run.
Wow.
So I did have an opponent, but we did very, very well and won, and here we are.
I know. It was meant to be, right?
Yep.
That's an incredible story. Thank you for sharing that.
Sure.
I think that's a nice segue into one of your pieces of legislation that passed, House Bill 122, which supports living organ donation. That had unanimous support, which is very impressive. Kind of explain what that bill does and why that was important for you.
Yeah, the main purpose of the bill is that it removes a roadblock for folks to become organ tissue donors. So if you're thinking about donating, there's a lot of considerations, and one of them is being off work. So it's a pretty serious medical procedure, right? And we're talking about kidney donation, and you're going to be off work for maybe a month, and a lot of folks can't afford to do that. So what this bill would do is it would give a tax credit, a dollar-for-dollar credit, so that the employer can pay that employee during that time off and receive a dollar-for-dollar credit. Now, there are some caps in it, but this hopefully will convince a few more folks to get on that organ donation list, because right now, over 3,000 Ohioans are awaiting a viable donor, and if someone's on dialysis, and if you know anybody that's ever been that, it's horribly expensive. They're there 3 days a week. It's terribly interruptive in their life, and this life-saving donation, it does that. It not only saves all that money from dialysis, but it saves lives.
My best friend actually recently donated her kidney to her father. So I
very well.
Definitely understand everything you just said, and the extensiveness of the procedure, I think, is a very good thing to highlight. And, all of the people that are waiting across the state. And so that is a wonderful, wonderful bill. I hadn't actually been familiar with that. So thank you for sharing about that. How did that idea come to you? Was this a constituent or?
Actually, it was the Kidney Foundation folks. We ran a bill my first General Assembly, not like this, but a similar roadblock removal type thing. It had to do with non-discrimination of organ tissue donors in the insurance world. So that's why they asked me to get on the bill. Then Representative Cross and I ran that bill, and we got it passed into law. So basically, the insurance can't discriminate against someone who's donating.
Nice.
So we did that. So we had that success. So I think they'd come to me and ask about this one, and I said absolutely.
Yeah, that's wonderful. Very neat story there. I want to ask, I know you just threw out a really strong statistic, but is there a growing need for organ donation in Ohio?
I think with the waiting list that it is, yes.
Yeah.
It more and more folks are on dialysis, and so yeah, it's crucial that we remove as many roadblocks as we can.
And I would assume because the Kidney Foundation is coming to you asking for help and, multiple pieces of legislation, that's likely a testament to the situation here.
Yeah, we're very, very pleased with the success in the House. So it's in the Senate now. Hopefully, we'll get it across the finish line.
Well, thank you for sharing about that. I want to switch over to your chairmanship, the House Insurance Committee. You are leading that one, this General Assembly. I know this is a broad question, but just kind of talk me through what you guys are working on and prioritizing right now.
Yeah, we have obviously several bills, several mandate bills. But we also have some interesting P&C bills. There's one, a title insurance bill that I think everybody's okay with. That one was very interesting because I don't really know much about title insurance, so I learned quite a bit. There's a new bill that the Senate sent over, and part of that bill is a new license, sort of a new licensure for let's call them fee-only financial planners.
Okay.
So this one's getting a lot of discussion. In fact, I was at Louisville with NCOIL, and I had a lot of insurance companies folks want to talk to me about our Ohio bill, which I thought was interesting. So it wasn't really NCOIL related.
Wow.
But since we were all there,
Yeah.
so I had a nice meeting with them and the sponsor, Senator Lang. We met with them to talk about their concerns about that. But I think we'll be able to get it to a good place and get that done. There's another bill that I would have carried myself, but since it's in my committee, I won't do that.
Yes.
But it has to do with if you're going to get non-renewed on your homeowner insurance, the law in Ohio is they have to provide a 30-day notice. I'd like to see that increased to 60. So we're working that through. I think we'll be able to get that one done as well. And a brand new one that a bill I carried at NCOIL has to do with it's a guarantee if you have a home and you use and rent it out to Airbnb or what's the other one? Those apps, online
VRBO,
apps.
maybe.
Vrbo,
Yeah.
Those places provide a guarantee to the homeowner that if the renter causes damage, the renter's responsible for the damage. So the discussion is that we want to put it in code. So they're sort of self-regulating. They want to put it in code that this is a guarantee, not insurance.
Oh, okay.
So that'll be an interesting. We did get it through as a model at NCOIL.
Yeah.
So they're bringing it to Ohio. So
Yeah, I mean those third-party renters or rental companies are just exploding everywhere. So that's very, very fascinating. I want to touch on NCOIL. For those who aren't aware, it's the National Council of Insurance Legislators, and you recently were at that meeting as you described. Before I ask what your takeaways of the meeting were, what did it mean to you that your committee and legislation going through your committee in Ohio is being looked at nationally as a standard?
Yeah, it's very interesting. You know, this is my 6th year participating in NCOIL. It's really a great forum because it's nonpartisan. All the committees are set up. The chair would be of one party, the vice chair is of another. Two people always carry a bill, one party and the other. And we have it set up in a committee structure. So there's presenters, there's a chair, there's a vice chair, discussions, pro, con, people come in, testify, and then when it's fully baked, if you will, they call for a vote. So it's great because you get that national focus
Right.
of all things related, not health insurance, life insurance, auto, home, the whole thing, and a lot of the interesting discussions now have been around AI and the use of AI.
Okay.
It's a big popular topic
How is
around
that impacting the insurance space? I'm sure it is.
Well, it is huge,
Yeah.
and a lot of carriers are using AI as a tool for a bunch of different things. As you can imagine, actuarial sciences, all the math that goes into predicting future losses. So there's quite a bit of it, and there's concerns as well. Is AI making decisions? Are policyholders being affected by these decisions? How are these decisions being made? So a lot of those questions around the use of the AI tools.
Yeah. Have any of those discussions come up in your committee yet or in Ohio?
Not
Probably.
in my committee, no.
Tech and innovation, I'm
Yes.
sure.
Yes.
I'm sure it has been very riveting with tech and innovation. I just want to open the floor, or first, NCOIL. You said 6 years you've been going to it? Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yep.
How has it shifted in those?
Well, I tell you, my first term, my first GA, I came out of my first NCOIL meeting. They had just passed a model distracted driving bill. And I said, we're gonna go that through Ohio, and I did. I met up with Representative Abrams, and we carried the distracted driving bill. And it was funny because you're new. I thought, well, this will be easy. We'll get this done in a couple of months.
Oh, man.
No, it took all 2 years. It got done in lame duck. We did get it passed and signed, even though every business group was for it. The governor was pushing real hard for it, but we did get it done. And so that was my first thing with NCOIL. Was great. Now, we're working on, the home application for the rental of the homes. There's always discussion about financial services, estate retirement funds. There's a bill that we just dropped the other week to add a new option for folks who are in the state retirement system, and I think it's a good option. Otherwise, I wouldn't want to do it.
Right.
So yeah, NCOIL has been a lot of fun. It's just getting those experiences from folks across the country.
Yeah, and it does, from the distracted driving bill and the tragedy that can strike with that, and the organ donation and insurance pieces of it. I'm kind of seeing it all kind of come full circle. And what would you say so far in your legislative experience? What has been the most rewarding part of it?
Honestly, the reps from across the state that I've met. I mean, a lot of great new friendships. The people, staff, that's been the most rewarding part of it. For me personally, it's been all the stuff I've learned. Honestly, to say, probably one of the biggest reasons why I wanted to do this was to learn about how it works, the process of it all. And I've just made some terrific friendships over the past 6 years. So it's just been very rewarding. Every day I come here, I learn something new, and which it's fabulous. It's great.
Yeah, all while getting to help a lot of people too.
Yeah, I've been. I mean, I was just so blessed to get that distracted driving bill done, and a lot of the work now, most of the work I'm doing now, mostly has to do with the insurance committee. But anything pro business. And the other thing that I'm very, very passionate about, if you will, is my district in Beaver Creek, Greene County, is the home of Wright-Patterson Air Force Base,
Oh, yes.
the Ohio single-site largest employer. So very important.
Yeah.
Very important work we do on the Veterans Affairs Committee. So anything having to do with our missions at Wright-Pat and our veterans. Our goal is to make Ohio the most friendly veteran state, and we're close.
Yeah.
We're very close.
Absolutely. Well, Representative Lambton, thank you so much for coming on the podcast.
You bet.
Quickly, I want to talk about our social media. You can follow us on the Ohio House GOP Caucus on Facebook, Ohio House _GOP on Instagram, and OHR GOP Caucus on Twitter. You can subscribe on YouTube or wherever you listen to podcasts. Thanks again.
Welcome. Thank you.